Yeah, true. Yeah,
Who knows? Games. Who knows? Games.
Maybe
GameStop
by the time
might
this is
actually
supposed to
send
be
you
live, we'll be
early.
playing Monster Hunter tomorrow.
Yes.
That's the
We're
goal.
actually playing Monster Hunter right now because it's out right now.
Yeah.
This is gonna be so much funnier when this episode comes out in March.
I'm on top of that now. I promise. I swear. All right, welcome back, everybody, to episode 6 of In the Garden Gaming. I'm here with Brizu, KG, and Jada, and we are going to talk about a number of things today. We've got WB layoffs, studio closures. We've got Activision AI bullshit, because of course. And what was our other thing? We just talked about it. I'm having a stroke.
Yeah, Tony Hawk
Yes,
3 and
Tony
4
Hawk.
is on the way, and then
Tony Hawk
Assassin's Creed is in the wild.
Yeah, we've got Assassin's Creed Shadows leaks. So I guess we'll start with, as we talked about, we'll start with WB. As everyone I'm sure is aware, they have shut down both Player First Studios, Monolith Studios, and WB San Diego. So I don't know the exact numbers on that. A ton of people laid off, ton of jobs lost, a ton of awesome developers.
I don't think they've disclosed numbers. I don't think numbers have been made. Been known yet, but it is a lot of people between those three studios.
Complete
Obviously,
studio
Monolith
shutdowns, and also the final note on that was the Wonder Woman game that's been in development has now been canceled, because I believe that was Monolith was working on that, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So another massive hit to the industry and the developers. Discuss.
You discuss. Don't tell me what to discuss.
Don't tell me what to do.
Don't tell me what to do. No, this sucks. Look. Yep. Monolith Soft is the big one. Like, this is the Shadows of Mordor, Middle
These
Earth.
Are guys who did like Fear, like Condemned, fucking 30-year studio.
Yep.
So
a question I've seen going around though is people keep talking about the
Nemesis system.
The Nemesis system being patented, right? But we're already seeing how, like, industry-wide, that being challenged, patents being actually challenged by Nintendo, is like an anomaly that people are like very, very like down on. So I'm surprised that if the standard in the industry has been that patents don't mean you can't use a mechanic because they're not enforced, I'm surprised no one's tried to use Nemesis system. I guess the assumption is just that WB is the worst and they would enforce it. I don't know. But I'm just been thinking about that.
Yeah, I mean, to my understanding, and I'm not a lawyer, or a patent lawyer specifically, not a lawyer of any kind, actually.
This is not legal advice.
This is not legal advice. My understanding of the patents is that a game developer can try and use the Nemesis system, but they would need to get like approval from WB ahead of time. And the chances are of WB just being like, sure, you can use it without them asking them to cut them a fat check because they've just been managing all their studios into the ground.
Yeah.
And not even just their game studios, movies and shit just have been not hitting for WB for a while now. Obviously, Hogwarts did well financially and stuff like that, but like that is the one success story out of WB.
That's just them cashing in on like millennial nostalgia for the Harry Potter franchise.
Sure. And like I guess Mortal Kombat probably also did okay, but I can't imagine it's like massive numbers.
It didn't do huge. I remember it was like
they
broke
deemed
like
one a failure. They deemed one a failure.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah.
So,
of course.
I mean, what game released nowadays isn't deemed a failure by the shareholders and parent companies?
And the one thing I was thinking about too that's really unfortunate is I wonder if this is not just because Suicide Squad did poorly, but also because it's a lot harder to get to shut down Rocksteady given their position in the UK. There's a lot more protections for them. So a lot of this could be they're shutting down Monolith because they can't shut down Rocksteady. I mean, it could really be as simple as that, which would be really tragic. Not that I think anybody should get any studio shut down, because Rocksteady did a great job too. But
I think it's also a little bit of Rocksteady, despite Suicide Squad not performing to their expectations, Rocksteady is still kind of the golden goose for them. They are known for making the Batman games that the fans still have trust in Rocksteady when it comes to solo Batman games.
Yeah.
Because you see that in the comments everywhere because fans want Rocksteady to make
if
another
it's not Batman
game.
Beyond, I don't want it. That's all I'm saying.
I feel it. I would love me a Batman Beyond. I think that's what we all been
sick.
wanting. So
I think they pitched that years ago. People were saying like Rocksteady actually pitched. Mm-hmm. Was that like a fake thing? Or
no, that was just a rumor floating around.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Seems typical that I'd fall for that. But but it's just it's tragic.
James Gunn, he was talking. Well, he said that he was talking with the WB Games president a few days ago that they're trying to get Rocksteady and NetherRealm to keep making DC games. So my guess would just be that because Monolith, they haven't shipped a game in forever, and then the last game that they did ship,
I think was the last one.
Yeah, the last game that they did ship was a mess during production, and then it came out and it had the whole microtransactions that WB put in there.
Yep.
And then that was just a whole thing. So they just figured, let's just shut down the whole studio because we're broke now.
Yeah.
Monolith all of this because they cut off 30 minutes of Batman v Superman back in 2016.
But yeah, it's another one of those just like it's just blow after blow. I mean, it just doesn't stop for this industry and for these people working in it. I mean, it's tragic. Like it's just I mean, there's so many great developers out there, incredibly talented people. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen the post going around. One woman posted like, you know, what we were working on was really special, and not only that, but I'm really scared. I have a baby coming in 10 weeks, and then now I have no job. And it's like, fuck, man. It's like, God, these corporations are just so like we all know it. Like we know there's soulless, awful things run by short-sighted, terrible people, but it's just like seeing it happen over and over. It just doesn't get easier. It doesn't get less exhausting.
I mean, it's all comes down to leadership failures. Like there, you know, there was citing in reports about how the head that is stepping down in the coming days or coming weeks or whatever, just
for
like
WB Games.
Yeah, I think it was just kind of like checked out or just decisive, and like it just let things languish over time, and it just
because a lot of I saw Jason Schreier reporting that because a lot of people were in his comments saying, you know, Zaslav, and he was like, believe it or not, this actually isn't really him. Like it's the guy who top of WB Games, like David Adad or Added or something like that. I can't remember exactly what his name was, but president of WB Games.
I've actually got the comment here that Warner Brothers provided as well, which is just terrible. So it starts, we've had to make some very difficult decisions to structure our development studios and investments around building the best games possible with our key franchises, Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Game of Thrones. After careful consideration, we are closing 3 of our development studios, Monolith Productions and Player First Games, and Warner Brothers Games San Diego, like we said earlier. This is a strategic change in direction and not a reflection of these teams or the talent that consists within them. The development of Monolith's Wonder Woman video game will not move forward. Our hope was to give players, fans the highest quality experience possible for the iconic character, and unfortunately this is no longer possible within our strategic priorities. This is another tough decision as we recognize Monolith's storied history of delivering epic fan experiences through amazing games. We greatly admire the passion for the 3 teams and thank every employee for their contributions. As difficult as today is, we remain focused on and excited about getting back to producing high-quality games and for our passionate fans and developed by our world-class studios and getting our games business back to profitability and growth in 2025 and beyond. And that end line there is what kills me. We are focused on getting our games business back to profitability and growth, and that tells you right there at the end what they're focused on. It's all
someone
about
made a comment. Sign. Someone in WB made a comment about getting their swagger back.
Yes, there is a comment. I thought that was the one. I was like, bro, you guys couldn't wait to make that comment for 4 more days. It is Black History Month. You don't need to. You do not need to offend us. At the last week of February.
No, this whole thing is
egregious.
Just absolutely insane.
It's insane. And like, don't get me wrong. I understand games are not a charity thing. Games are expensive to make. Games require some modicum of profitability. The problem is it's become so much of chasing this number get bigger with
Well,
new game
it's the nature
mentality.
of shareholder driven capitalism these days, is that
Hmm.
it's it's not about having sustainable businesses. It's about being able to show year on year profit growth
Yep.
consistently. And if you don't, then everybody at the top dips out and you lose all your funding and investment, and there's nowhere to go from there. It's like it's just this awful trend that, I mean, it's hitting games as much as it's hitting literally everything else, where just
Hmm.
there are people that they do not care if a company is around in 5 years if it'll make an extra $1 billion this year, and they will do
Yep.
anything
Yeah.
to make it
Yeah.
more this year. And it's like that, it's that thing where it's not about making good sustainable products or like making, building up companies that can deliver good things over the years. It's about getting the most money right now. It's a bunch of shitty people trying to get their dollar right this minute, and it's like you just can't, it's not even in the realm of like business management, right? That's why it's so bad, is games are a business, and business management the world over is a disaster right now because businesses are run by people that don't
Care.
understand, or not even not understand, they don't care about the
Hmm.
sustainability of businesses or the people's livelihoods at all. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
what,
mean,
like you could cut Zaslav's pay in half and it would cover the pay of every single employee laid off today.
I literally posted that on Blue Sky today. I was like, you could cut CEOs' salaries, or not salaries, because salaries are usually pretty small. It's the bonuses and everything
It's
else.
their massive, because
Their
they own
extra
shares or whatever, so
compensation.
they get their
Yes.
massive shareholder bonus. Yeah.
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 But if their compensation was cut in half, it would fuel the industry and these studios and allow for better experiences to
And the
be
worst
made.
part is these people would
Crazy.
still be useless and exorbitantly wealthy, but at
Yep.
least they would have companies that function under them.
Yep.
Like, it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we can have we can have the worst of both worlds, or we can have take, a little bad with the
Hmm.
good. They're always going to be useless. They're always going to make an absurd amount of money, but there's no reason why they can't do that and also like have people have livelihoods. Like,
It's greed. It's just
yeah,
greed.
and it's greed for
Greed.
the sake of it. It's greed beyond excess. It's like, it'd be
Hmm.
one thing if it was people just, working hard, making their due, making money like anybody else managing a company, but they're not. They live in such excess and make so much money that it's like you're the leeches draining companies of the resources to make better
Hmm.
things. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's this cult of
David
this.
Zaslav has a very hard job. He has to throw darts at a dartboard to figure out who's going to close, and then
God,
he
and
has to pay somebody to write
when you hear
the
executives,
public write up.
when you hear things about like Zaslav coming into WB Games, or you hear things about like Andrew, is it Wilson, coming into different studios to like check things. These guys are like incompetent toddlers. They have no idea what they're talking about. It's literally the shiny keys meme all over again. You dangle something in front of them that they go, oh, that'll work, because they don't understand anything about the medium. They don't understand anything about games or the people that make them. They don't even understand how to run companies well. Like,
I wouldn't say they don't understand them, but they have a higher prioritization on running them to where for money versus running them to create art, which is what video games are,
but the
and that
flip
was
side
what
is
video
that
games
I think the flip side though is that we can easily make the argument that they are legitimately incompetent, because I think we've all recognized that good games, given the time to be good games, always turn a massive profit. There's no game that has turned out to be a beloved title that gets its dues for years and years that didn't make its money. Like that,
are.
it's, yeah, you don't get it in the short term sometimes, but like you give things the time to grow and give developers the time to make something good, and you get better business and more money. It's this short-sighted immediate now of it that's so
Yep.
toxic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah, that's what always bothers me. It's like you guys can make tons of money making good stuff. Like, you don't have to turn out unfinished shit. Like,
It also worries me because like so much of this industry is moving towards fewer bigger things versus a lot more smaller things. If that's where your costs go up when you're banking everything on your one game that you're releasing in 8 years,
mhm.
you're
Right.
spending millions of dollars in that 8 years of development. And if it's going to be hard for that to turn a profit or, become a gangbuster thing sales if it's not GTA or Red Dead Redemption or Cyberpunk or whatever.
And I think my silver lining with that stuff, at least, is I do think I've seen the sentiment change a little in terms of, because people are being, I'm seeing people be interested in more types of games and more types of experiences across the board, more things that are older or more indie picking up attention. So I think there's an element of, if things revert to a point where there aren't these massive projects and games do have to be sustained by a more modest, more modest delivery of more straightforward projects, I do think there's enough of an appetite for that stuff that things will get by. But it's like, I mean, yeah, I think people have talked about it plenty. We've seen it before, but it's definitely AAA. It's not. I mean, at this point, like, all eyes are looking at GTA 6. Like, if this thing doesn't, I don't even know if it can succeed. Like, I'm at the point where it's like, can it even?
It's gonna do gangbusters.
It will, but like, people are talking about, it's like the expectation is so high and people are so fickle. Will it actually, right? Like, that's the thing these days, is there's so many things where it's like, we might play it and go, oh, this is a great game, and it gets 8s because that it's average, it's an 8. Like, well, yeah, it's a great game.
The score, like, whatever score GTA 6 ends up coming out, is not going to affect its sales.
Even if the wider discourse around it becomes that it's not particularly popular.
No, they would have to, like, literally destroy everything that is core to GTA in order for its sales to. Because
I've seen so many big things, and again, I know GTA exists on a different scale of big, but we've seen so many big games that turn out great games, but they're not 10s. And so the population being so fickle these days, it's like, that's not enough for them. And it's like, I could see it being one of those things where the discourse is like, it has to generate so much. I mean, it has to generate, what, they've spent $2 billion on it, or the estimates, something like that. Like, I mean,
but that was like, but they made that on, like, last Friday, so. Like, with their shark cash cards.
Yeah, shark cards will cover that within a week.
Yeah, they're predicting to, like, make that on, like, opening weekend. Like,
I'm curious.
For GTA 6.
Yeah, true.
Like, it's gonna be like,
See, then that's unfortunate though. If it succeeds, then does that send the message to all these shareholders and executives that they need to keep pushing for this bigger thing? Oh, well, Grand Theft Auto could do it, so
other studios and shareholders would be completely mistaken and really bad at their job. I would say at that point they would be incompetent if they would think that their studio has the juice that a GTA does. Yeah. Like, if it's not a game that's already on that scale of a GTA, which there are very few in the industry currently because of how many layoffs and canceled projects and stuff, that doesn't get a chance to grow into a GTA size thing. If it doesn't reach that, if somebody's like, yeah, we're gonna make the next fighting game and it's gonna be like it's gonna do GTA numbers. We're gonna wait like 12 years and it's gonna be the best fighting game ever. And it's like, yeah, but you're unfortunately your genre is still niche. Like, and this is obviously fighting games. You could put this to any other open world game.
GTA is on a whole other level of
like, it is.
Yeah, like, people don't understand. Like, GTA is basically and I guess I forget how much of that is GTA Online. I do think we all forget how much of that is GTA Online.
That's really that. I mean,
I know.
I know all too well that.
That is. That is.
So that's the thing, right? Online stuff is always very hit or miss, no matter who you are. GTA, right? Again, that's another thing. I'm like, if that's a pain point for people, if online's where it makes all this money, Red Dead 2 is one of those things where they did not get the online locked in. It didn't make them any money. No one cared about Red Dead 2 online. Like, what if, I mean,
Red
they
Dead
could
2 still sold gangbusters.
Yeah.
It did, but like, I think that when we're talking about the long-term, like, GTA as a thing, it's, how much of it is about its online experience, right? I always think of GTA as like this massive single player thing, but it's like, it's really not. That's not the big thing. That's not the allure. Like,
I remember a while back, Rockstar said that they wanted, or it might have been Take-Two, said that they wanted to keep GTA Online as its own separate entity. So they weren't planning on doing an online for 6 at the time, but that might change because
that doesn't even
GTA
sound
5 online is
possible.
run by duct tape.
Yeah, I was like, how's that even possible? You can't have GTA 6 and not have online and make your costs back. I don't think. Like,
I mean, there is
you can
a
still
world...
make money through 5 online. Like they'll keep updating 5 online. It's just they won't do it for 6.
But
there is a world.
Isn't there? I would imagine if you're a GTA Online player, your excitement for GTA 6 would be new GTA Online.
Yeah.
Oh, there is 100%.
Yeah, there is a world where GTA 6 launches as single player only, and they maintain GTA 5 online, and they release GTA 6 online later. There is a world where that happens.
Oh, definitely.
That's what I'm thinking they were going to do when they said that. Like,
yeah.
6 wasn't going to
GTA
ship
5
with
took
online.
a year, right? It took a year for online to come online. GTA 5, I remember. It didn't
no, it launched with online. It wasn't until like they did the big heists update to where the game really started to become what it is now, and that's
okay. I remember release. It was like I remember there was like a big point at like its first year where like it started to actually like.
Yeah, when it came to PC and got heists.
Yep.
Okay.
So, who knows? Maybe they follow that model again. Not sure. But
yeah.
KG, anything you want to talk about? Were you a big Multiversus fan? Are you sad Multiversus is officially dead and dying and going away?
I made a video on Multiversus. Nobody watched it, but I made a video on Multiversus.
I didn't even know you made a video on Multiversus.
It's one of my worst performing videos. It's got like 100. It's got like 110.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I played Multiversus when it first launched in the beta. And I was really excited for it when it was first announced. God, what was that? Like the WB Showcase or something like that? Where they first announced Fandom. Yeah, DC Fandom, I think, right? Where they first announced that. And just the concept of like a platform fighter designed with 2v2 in mind, having like these abilities interact with other characters, like just really interested me the same way like 2XKO interests me as like a true 2v2 tag team fighter built from the ground up for that express purpose. So like I was very, very excited for it when it first got announced, and playing it during the beta, I really enjoyed all the characters. It was like the first platform fighter I really like enjoyed, really got invested in. I'm not like a big Super Smash Bros. Fan.
What's your Sony pony?
I played.
Speaking.
I wouldn't say it's the first one actually. PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale
was
the first platform fighter.
I love that game.
That I loved. My only true love in this genre. I was a.
You say Kratos, you're a fucking cheater.
Main. I was a Raiden main. I loved
Kratos was so broken in that game. It was unfair. I remember going on the subreddit and it was like I remember like enjoying playing Kratos at one point, and like I was trying to cope and I was asking people like, am I good at him or is he just unfair? And people were like, he's actually just unfair. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It's the God of War, man. He's meant to be. He's meant to reign above all.
The God of War was good in that game. Who knew? Who knew the God of War would be good in a fighter?
Big Daddy is a heavy platform fighter character's peak.
Yeah, I loved Sir Daniel Fortescue from Medieval.
Of course,
he was so goofy, and no one like knew how to fight him at the time because no one ever played him. No one knew who this character was. So they were like, "I'm not gonna pick this guy."
Wasn't Parappa one of the characters?
Yep, Parappa.
Yeah,
I played a bunch of Parappa and I played a bunch of Sweet Tooth. I was like,
nice.
yeah, give me my Twisted Metal.
Sweet Tooth was so good.
I played Dante so much that I got excited for the. I actually am one of the few people. I'm a DMC from Ninja Theory. I think that game's great. I don't care what anybody says.
I think it is one of the best.
It's underrated, I think.
Okay, see, great opinions. See, good opinions when I come to my people, because like I have heard people for years talk, and I love the rest of Devil May Cry. I haven't played 4 or 5, but I love the original trilogy. And I still love DMC. I was like, why do people hate this so much? It's so good.
Because it's not as good as DMC 2.
The worst DMC?
No, I'm fucking with you.
I think a lot of it
nuclear.
I think it was a lot of where a lot of games just kind of
they were reinventing themselves, and people did not appreciate it being reinvented.
They didn't. Well, I think it's also they just didn't. I don't think a lot of people didn't like the look for Dante. Like I didn't. It was like it was very kind of emo-esque, is what people.
He was
like,
so cool. He was so edgy.
He was so great. I love.
He was just modern edgy, like that. Like old Dante is like a '90s interpretation of what like an edgy badass is. Like that Dante looked like an edgy badass for like 2014 or whatever. Like
like it was great. I flipping love that game. It was so
glad.
good.
I'm glad there's other DMC truthers because I've had a sweet spot for that one.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think it's great. It had some of the best. I say best a lot, but it had some great level design. It had some awesome bosses, like really cool powers and abilities. I think a lot of people also got tripped up on the whole Nephilim thing, and I was just like, whatever, dude. Like he's already been half demon. Like
I hate that. And it's funny because they act like I remember people acting like that was like a lore term, like they came up with this new lore. It's like Nephilim is literally just a universal term for like half angel demon. Like it's applied to a ton of lore and a ton of games. Like it's not like they did this for Devil May Cry to rewrite the story. They just gave it a new word.
Yeah. So. But yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Back to Multiverse. I'm with you, KG. Like I loved Multiverses during the betas. It was great. I think the biggest thing I enjoyed
I played it, so I didn't play the betas. I played it a bit at launch, which is why I made a video on it, because I really liked the 2v2 element. I liked how the characters a lot of people said it was way too slow. I get like that it was slowed down from beta, but I thought it was still like I thought it was engaging. I thought it was fast enough. There are elements where it was like I saw the how much faster it played in beta. I was like, yeah, I see why people like that, but like it was a lot of fun. My big issue with it was that it had some issues that just made it impossible to recommend. And like a big part of it was like it had no potential as an actual fighting game because there was no way to host a LAN with it. You can't have LAN tournaments on a fighting game where people can't play characters they don't own. Like you have to be able to set up and have anybody sit down at a console and play the character, right? There was no at the very least in LAN mode or in local play, they needed to let you play anybody, right? If you needed to have a character to play it online.
I think they eventually did that.
I don't think they did. I remember following it for a while. I don't know if they ever got around to doing that because that was a big deal.
I feel like I distinctly remember there being like a patch or like, okay, if you're local online, you can play whatever.
They might have done it when they announced the final season. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think it was with the final season. I'm not sure.
Let me check because that was one of my big complaints. Is I was like, it's one of those things where tournament holders literally can't run this game. Like they have no way.
Yeah.
Like
they patched it August 29th. Patch 1.2.3. All fighters are now available for play in local play game modes. So they did patch that and fix that, which is good.
Yeah, actually, they did get around. Okay, so I'm glad they did get around. But again, not launching with that. There was a ton of people that in the fighting game scene and in the platform fighting scene that just instantly were like, "Oh, we can't
not having that at launch was
we can't host tournaments. Like we literally can't do fun startups. We can't have a weekend tournament on launch week. We can't do any of that. Like it killed any momentum a fighting game scene has. And fighting game scenes are all grassroots. You have to have that stuff day one, and it's like and then the single player side of it and the monetization element, like the single player stuff was just awful. I hated that.
Terrible.
Yeah, like it was just one of those things where I played it. I put my $20 in because I'm one of those people where I pick a character I want and I get them frame one and that's it. I'm done. I'm good and happy. So I'd been playing my Suicide Squad. I've been playing my Joker, so I picked up Joker frame one.
You're a Joker player. Shame on
you. That's probably why I had so much fun. Apparently, he's really unfair.
He was something else for a platform fighter. That character was so annoying. He made me drop the game. To be honest with you,
it's a shame we couldn't have sparred. You couldn't have learned the tech how to beat him.
See, my favorite character, Garnet, was
that's what I'm talking about. It's all about playing Garnet.
I played Harley and Joker. That was it.
I played Harley and Garnet.
She was bad, like from beta to launch, and I don't think she ever became good. Just more playable.
I mean, so like, granted, I didn't play a ton. I didn't play it at launch, and I didn't play like a crazy amount. I probably put in a
Mhm.
good, I don't know, 30 hours or so, like
That's what I
during
put
the
in.
beta period.
Hmm.
And I played primarily Garnet and Harley, and I was devastating people with Garnet. Like I got good with her.
Oh,
Like,
I did,
yeah,
but
but like
she had that gap
she had some
between the
issues.
top tiers.
Yes, no, for sure. But yeah, I still think to this day, like their biggest sin for that game was, in addition to the no local co-op, was taking it offline for what, a year, basically.
Yeah,
That was so
yeah.
weird.
And so I get it. That's probably something that they needed to do development wise, but also I'm also worried
I think they
because
literally did that just to push the engine, didn't they? They swapped engines to 5.
maybe, but
I think that
also
was it.
but yeah, like it's also was a thing that's like, was it also because WB wanted to push worse microtransactions in there? Because the beta had
That's true.
microtransactions where you could buy stuff, and they changed and made it a lot worse at launch. So
Yeah, they introduced that
um,
single player mode that was like a huge
Massive grind to get
micro,
anything.
yeah,
mhm.
like heavily
So-
incentivized microtransactions, as well as not being very engaging
It was ass.
for yeah, it was bad. It was
It was
really bad.
ass.
yeah.
It was ass. I remember playing it to unlock Agent Smith early, which was
Mhm.
it was a cool thing that they did, where like you play these
Yeah.
I think
You could unlock
rifts
them by
they called
completing
them.
challenges. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and you do the challenges every week, and like you can get a character like a week early or something for
Yeah.
free, pretty much. And I thought that was a cool concept, but
Mhm.
then you start playing the rifts, and you're like, wow, this is like
Mind numbing.
really, really mind numbing. Yeah,
Yep.
and it
Well,
just snowballed into being completely unplayed. I think later down the line.
well. Speaking of ass, Call of Duty got caught. Didn't get caught. Well, I guess they did get caught last year during
No,
Christmas
you should have
time.
been speaking of ass. That brings us to Assassin's Creed.
Oh my god!
I could have done that. I could have done that.
No, we'll talk about
But
Call of Duty.
I
They
was
got
gonna say the worst ass is the AI usage in Call of Duty. They
yeah,
introduced
and we all
AI.
suspected it when we saw that image that's going
Oh,
around the
I
Santa.
mean,
We all because he had 6
Yeah.
fingers.
yes, there was no
6 fingers.
suspicion. There was no suspicion.
Yeah.
It was just knowledge. It
It
was
was
just
just like, yeah, we
knowing
all
that it
knew
was
this was
AI.
AI, and then they
It's like,
finally admitted
ugh.
it.
They finally admit it, and like I think they pinned it on like what their Steam page now, where it says certain assets and things for Call of Duty are made with AI. Blah blah blah.
It's disgusting.
And it's like,
AI
It's just a
disclosure.
generic Steam warning for
They
AI
should have been
generated
boycotted.
content.
They should have
Yeah.
been boycotted off the market. I hate that
I
bullshit.
I will say, unfortunately, I did give Call of Duty some money. It's the first time I've given Call of Duty money
Same.
in
Oh
like
no!
10 years
No,
now.
I gave them $30 to like with for the upgrade on the on the Game Pass version.
Oh, the
Mm.
Black Cell or whatever.
Yeah, that thing.
Thing,
Yeah.
yeah. I was fortunate. Thankfully through work, I got the game with the Black Cell edition through work, so I didn't have to pay for that. So like, I honestly had forgotten about the AI Santa thing when I spent money, like literally, I think like a week ago, because they put my freaking turtles in the game. And I was
Oh,
like,
okay. To be fair,
need my
those
turtles.
turtles look really good, and it's not like
Oh god!
it's one of those things where
It's
it's like you're giving it's awful because it's like
I'm not. Yeah, I don't.
you're not giving
money.
it just to give Activision money. You're also supporting the
Yeah,
people that made this awesome thing.
I
Like,
love my turtles, thus
yeah.
the shirt. I love my turtles. So I had to buy that. I will say though, I don't know, after I spent a night playing with Donatello, and I did a bunch of zombie matches, which is great. Their mode, you're fighting
Oh,
a
you
bunch
can
of their
play
zombies.
you
Like
can play
there's
them as
Cowabunga.
zombies. That's perfect.
Yeah, the Cowabunga cranked mode, you're fighting just foot soldiers. Like Foot
Okay.
Clan, it's
Oh,
just
that's
Foot Clan
cool.
that are fighting. All the zombies are Foot Clan members, which
That's
is
cool.
great. It's so cool, and I absolutely loved playing it in zombies. I took it for a multiplayer spin because I finished all my zombie challenges. I was like, let me do a couple multiplayer matches and try and get the multiplayer challenges for EXP because I'm close to my next prestige. I don't know if I'm the same after watching my Donatello get like shot I don't know if I'm the same anymore. My brain, a part of me died, I think, when I died as Donatello in Call of Duty.
You watch him get riddled with bullets.
I always think about this every time they add like a new skin to Call of Duty. I'm like, you're gonna have to watch this player model.
Oh
this
shit,
might
that's
be your
crazy. You can shoot
childhood
Nicki
getting
Minaj.
shotgun.
That's fucked up.
Yeah,
You're watching your favorite childhood hero get shotgunned in the
It's not like it's not like it's not like
Paul
Fortnite
Atreides
where it's like
up.
fake bullets and like you're fucking shooting. Jesus Christ! Wait, did they get like? Did they? Is there the dismemberment effects in COD?
Yep.
I don't.
So
is there?
if you
I
like
don't
blow
think
up
the
a
collab
turtle,
skins have it, but I don't think the collab skins have it. But like the normal skins, usually they get like their arms blown off or their legs.
okay, I was gonna say like, wouldn't that be horrible if they
okay.
made like turtle gore?
I definitely did not
gore of my
see
comfort
that.
character.
I definitely did not see that from any of the matches I played. I don't remember getting blown up by any grenades, but like, there was definitely a bunch of shotguns to the shell that killed me.
I'm pretty sure the collab skins are safe,
Shell
just
shock.
because like
They don't bleed, do they?
a brand image thing, like Nicki Minaj wouldn't get her legs blown off.
Yeah.
Like Lieutenant
Protect
Dan.
the brand.
So,
it doesn't match up with the lore.
Yeah, so I think I will be completely reserving my turtles to just zombies at this point in time. But yeah,
so it's traumatizing,
It's a little bit. It's just a little bit.
Watching your heroes get.
So
anyway, aside from that cute story, AI bad COD, bad job Activision. Do better, be better.
Yeah, you've got money. You've got money to hire people and pay people.
I don't know if any of y'all saw this, but a little while back they fired a bunch of like the voice actors because they didn't want to be subjected to AI use.
Yep.
They went on strike or whatever, and they fired like half of them. Like if you do the Sam trials in Zombies, it's an AI now. It's
my God,
I did see a little bit of that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I didn't know they fired them. That's crazy.
They're like ride or die over this AI shit just because
it's gonna save them a ton of money making garbage.
Yeah.
It's easy. They get
can't wait till we see the first AI
innocent forest
creature. The first AI camo or first AI bundle.
Oh, that's gonna be.
What are you talking about? Terminator just came
out. Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah. But
okay. Well,
AI stuff.
Not much to say on that other than just, hey, be aware, Call of Duty is using AI. Although the one thing that's extra from this Turtle collab has brought us also is we have Tony Hawk 3 and 4 is being hinted at. There's a website that's basically counting down till March 4th. For
so
Tony Hawk, Tony Hawk. So we'll see something.
But didn't they let go of the team that was making that, or didn't they fold them into like a COD team?
They got turned into a Blizzard support team.
Yeah, the team that was making 1 and 2. Did they? So a different team now gets to make 3.
We'll see.
Something like that.
We'll see.
But 3 and 4 just did get rated by the ESRB, so it's pretty much confirmed that it's just that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the 20th anniversary or something.
Yeah, they were rated in Singapore, I believe, is where they got their ESRB rating. So just a matter of time till everything hits through in the States and such. But yeah.
So how are you feeling about that 3 and 4?
I love Tony Hawk 3. Tony Hawk 3 was like my wasn't my first Tony Hawk. I started with 1, but
which ones were on the PS2?
That was 3 was the first one that dropped on the PS2 right after.
Okay, because I played the PS2 games.
Yeah, so
there's
that
like
would be
3, 4, Underground Wasteland, I believe it was called, or American Wasteland.
Oh, I played Underground as well.
Yeah. But yeah, 3 was the first one they launched on PS2, and that's where I fell in love with Tony Hawk or whatnot. Like I had played Tony Hawk 1
I fell in love with pop punk music.
On the soundtracks were legendary.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk
that was like the first time I heard Green Day. Not even kidding. I was playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater with my friend at his house, and we were like, "This song rocks." There was like a holiday or something.
The thing I am sad about, because I know there's elements that will not be coming to these remasters. There's no way we get a playable Wolverine or Darth Maul in Tony Hawk 3 remake. There's no way. There was
a playable Wolverine and Darth Maul?
Yeah, they did collab skins because
It's like Soul Calibur,
Activision
goddamn.
owned the owned the Marvel rights, and they and I don't think they owned Star Wars. That was just like a little thing they worked out with LucasArts.
That was just like back when they would lend characters out like Yoda into Soul Calibur.
Yeah, like
That's crazy.
I can't remember which one, but there was one that had like a bunch of we could be seeing like the return of like the Doom guy skin, or like the not Nether Realm. What are they? Raven Software. They had like their no, it wasn't Raven. It was Neversoft. There we go.
And
the little
Neversoft,
eyeball for Neversoft. He was a character. We could be seeing those
that used to
ones,
gross
but
me
yeah, we're
out
not
so
seeing
much. Seeing that the little intro to the Pro Skater games, the little eyeball.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I absolutely loved. I'm very excited for Tony Hawk 3 and 4. I definitely need to see it, but I mean, 1 and 2 remake were great. They did a really good job with those. So
Yeah,
as long as it's the same attention to detail and then just other improvements since that one dropped, I think it's a slam dunk for them. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah,
it
I
should
think
just
so,
be
honestly.
easy, but knowing Activision, they'll mess it up somehow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then the last thing we have to talk about, or as we were talking about before we started, Assassin's Creed Shadows leaked. Apparently, people.
Speaking of mess ups,
people were apparently just full streaming the game, playing it. I don't know. I don't know how these things happen, but people got a hold of the game and were playing it.
I think the guess is that like the major retailers that were selling the games didn't update their systems for when the game got delayed. So the game would have been out today if it didn't get delayed that first time or the second time.
So there are people that are holding boxed copies right now. Is that the?
Yeah. Like they got sent their boxed copies on disc. Like that's how they're playing it because they just got it in the mail.
Okay.
Like they got shipped to a warehouse and they were supposed to sit in the warehouse until later because production of the discs doesn't wait till the last month.
Yeah, that's why we all have day one patches on our discs and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so, but they, like Breezy said, they just didn't. There's no street date warning that popped up, or the retailers didn't care. There used to be I want to say it was a 7-Eleven when I was growing up that was like down the street from my GameStop that I worked at, and they would break street date like every single game release. They did not care. But people would
7-Eleven would sell games. That's crazy.
Yeah. They would go down. People would go down to 7-Eleven and they would like bring the game in and trade it in like for money. And I'm just like, what?
Like you don't get more for it being unreleased, guy. Like that's
like it was so wild. I was like, I can't accept this. The game's not out yet.
You're like, I'll take it. I'll play it.
But yeah, no,
I had
a lot of people that would like go to like a local 7-Eleven and like get their games early. So like it happens. It's been a thing in the industry for decades.
Yeah.
Now, and so like
there's still there's not many, but there's still mom and pop shops, and as long as you don't disclose who you got it from, a lot of places will break street date. It just happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everybody out there, be aware. Spoilers beware. People are live streaming it and showing stuff off. Breezy, you had something you wanted to add?
No, that's a NyQuil kicking in.
Yeah, it's a NyQuil kicking
in. But yeah.
Well, I mean, speaking of showing things off, fun little story, I guess, to end instead of all the negativity. We got Bungie. They had to in a court hearing about. It's like it's kicking in. God. Okay.
Is it there
in a court hearing? They had to disclose whether or not they created the Red Legion, which was a faction in their first campaign, for Destiny 2.
Launch campaign.
And they had to cite the My Name is Bife 10-hour lore video and a cutscene of just all the Red War compilation cutscenes.
Because they don't have that
on YouTube because they don't have them anymore.
Like it's crazy. Like the fact that stuff isn't. We were talking about this earlier. The fact that there's not that it's not archived. That these people's work isn't like they describe it as a content vault. But it's like the fact there's not literally a content vault is insane. Like the fact that this data isn't archived somewhere, that these cutscenes aren't accessible by Bungie themselves. Like the only version you can get is a scuffed YouTube upload of it.
Yeah, I mean that's why you've seen
It's crazy.
not as much recently, but I want to say over the last like 4 or 5 years ago, there was like a lot of jobs for like historian roles at various studios where studios were hiring people and they're like, hey, we want you to, we want you
catalog
to
our shit.
catalog everything here and, put it in chronological order, have it all set so we can reference it for future development.
It's
and
good that
like
people are doing that then.
Yeah, I don't know if that's still continuing and how many studios have actually done that, but I know there was a small handful of studios that did that in the past. So hopefully this is a lesson for Bungie to maybe because I thought Bungie was one of the teams that had a historian, but with all the cuts and layoffs that's happened in the industry, I can't imagine a role that studios would be faster to cut. Like they're like, we don't need a historian.
First on the chopping block.
Yeah, it's like up there with QA.
Unfortunate. Yeah, so which should never be on the top of the chopping block, but
no, but it is.
It is. Yeah, they're lowest paid. They're like, let's get rid of all the low paid people.
Yeah, it's never respective to like the functionality of the product. It's lowest paid gets cut. Like.
Yep. So. But yeah.
It's crazy because it's almost like if you cut the highest paid, you'd save so much more money, so much faster. Wild.
And you'd only have to, and when you need to rehire, you've only got to rehire like one
guy,
people.
like one guy. Like
yeah,
it's crazy.
Like
you could hire from internally, and you could pay him like 1/50th of the cost, and there you go. You now are running a company like a normal way.
Yeah. So.
Real head scratcher, that one.
But yeah, let's to Breezy's point, it was a pretty bit of a down for a lot of shit. Let's just talk about what we're playing. Like I'm gonna share what I've been playing.
I got this locked in.
Because I've been trying to I pitched it to KG because we know he's one of the most
was it gaming strongest soldier?
Yeah, he's one of the gaming strongest soldier out there. I've been playing Myth Force. It is literally a 4-player online co-op roguelite, and it is if you stepped into a Saturday morning cartoon from the 80s, that is like literally what you like.
And it's an FPS, right?
It is, yes, it is like
it's also fantasy, so it's not necessarily shooting. It's not shooting.
No, yeah. But. It's like so there's 4 characters, there's a mage, an archer, a knight, and I forget what the 4th character is because I've only been playing the mage. And it is a lot of fun. It also has some very good challenge to it. The only thing is I can't highly recommend it because it is pretty buggy because it has been lacking in updates since launch, to where anybody who's not the host of the game does have issues, but despite that, I am still having a good time with it. So I definitely recommend people take a look at it. If you see it on sale, if it pops up in a catalog where it's like, hey, it's on Game Pass or it's on PS Plus, or in the Switch eShop, like, actually that wouldn't be. They don't have a thing for like third-party stuff. They just do their old consoles. But if it pops up on a sale on the eShop and you want to play it on Switch, it probably runs terrible on the Switch. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the graphics aren't crazy, but like I just
it's
know
a Switch.
It's a Switch, and 8-year-old console. Slow updates. I also saw on the Reddit like
can't wait for its sequel, the 4-year-old console.
I've seen on various like subreddits that the Switch version is like the worst playable one for when it comes to like updates and
many
stuff
such
like that.
cases as Breezy would say.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say it.
But yeah, I still really like Myth Force, and obviously we got Monster Hunter next week or this week whenever this episode ends up going live. Whenever this episode goes live, I'll be playing a bunch of that. But yeah,
whenever Bond decides to edit these, no,
yeah. Breezy, you've been sleeping. What you been playing?
Yeah.
I'm actually been playing quite a bit.
I saw you on Minecraft.
I have been playing a bit of Minecraft. My friend started like a realm, and I just decided 2-week Minecraft binge. Why not? I'm still not the biggest Minecraft fan. I used to be when I was little, obviously, but then I still just play the game, and then after like a day or so, I'm just like, why am I playing Minecraft? So other than that,
that's fair.
I started playing a bit of Yakuza 0 again. Picked up that where I left off, and because it's Yakuza, it was pretty easy getting back into it. I just had to remember a couple names, but Yakuza 0 has been a lot of fun, and then game related, but the other day I watched Grand Theft Hamlet, and that movie is genuinely fantastic. Like,
I want to see that.
Really?
it's so much fun because they don't try and make it like as cinematic as possible. Like, they don't use GTA director's mode or free cam or anything like that. Like, they get attacked by the police and like their phones go off the entire time. It's genuinely so much fun to watch, and I wish I got to see that one in theaters, but unfortunately, theater distribution's a myth, so that doesn't exist around here. Bon, what have you been playing?
Oh, I've talked about this, so I don't even know what compelled me to do this.
Oh, here we go.
A few days ago, I decided to give Deadlock another try. Valve's
his soul
latest
is gone.
hero shooter MOBA hybrid.
Pouring out.
I played it when it first was going around 5 months ago or whatever. I hopped into one match. I realized it was a MOBA. Got League of Legends PTSD and uninstalled. I decided, I don't know. I was looking for something. I didn't even see anything on it. I think I've always liked the art style. I've always thought that was cool, and it's a little bit more movement oriented. So I was like, I'll try this again. I'll hop back in, get a friend to play it with me. So I've been playing with my friend Lemon, and we've been. It's really got its hooks in us now. Like, it's got a great sense of movement to it. That's a big part of it. It's a movement shooter at its core, first and foremost. All the feedback and stuff, all the things that I think Marvel Rivals does terribly, Deadlock does well. From just the way you're connected to the space around you, your character walking across the ground feels like they're connected to the ground. The bullet feedback and the abilities and sound effects, character designs, it's all really, really great. I love the art style and aesthetic. It also just today, like we've been learning it over the last few days, and then today it just got a massive update. So it's a 6v6, and until today it was 4 lanes where you had 2 solo lanes on the outside and the 2 middle lanes would have a 2v2, right? And now it's down to, now they've reworked the entire map. It's 3 lanes, so it's 3 2v2s, which totally changes the entire momentum and rhythm of the game. It changes how everything feels to play. They also changed the whole last hitting mechanic. You no longer have to last hit minions to get the currency from them like you do in most MOBAs, which is really awesome because that's a stupid mechanic. Because they have this cooler mechanic where when a minion dies, the little soul pops up and you shoot that little target and that gets you extra currency. So they used to do both. Now they've gotten rid of the last hitting. So anyway, I've just been playing a lot of that, and I've just been really impressed. Like, as an alpha, for especially still being in early alpha and all that, it's just, they get so many of the fundamentals right, and it's fast, the movement's great. It reworks a lot of the most obnoxious things about MOBAs, because if you've ever played one, they're pretty taxing games to play. Yeah, and I'd say that it definitely it works on a lot of the pain points, and it's a lot of fun. I think they've got something really special there. It's no Concord in terms of the feedback and the weapon feedback and stuff like that, but it's definitely got it.
How does it compare to your time with League?
Oh, so much better. Like, it's a vast, like, I mean, they've had so many years to iterate. It's just a vast, it's basically, it's not just a MOBA as a third person shooter. It's also, if this was a MOBA top down, it would still, many of its improvements would still be direct improvements to the formula. Like, it's a good evolution, a good step forward that makes it approachable, but not like I feel like Heroes of Storm tried to make MOBAs approachable, but it also cut away a lot of the stuff that we like. This has found a better in between, where like it's still very oriented around your performance and your ability to do things, but it's just not as in the weeds as Dota or League. So it's just fun. It's surprising. I don't care for MOBAs in general. Like, that element of it is not my favorite thing, but it's a fun, well-made movement shooter, and I don't really have a lot of those right now, so been enjoying that. It's getting lots of updates, and as of the most recent one, it actually runs better on my computer, because the last few days it was crashing on me a lot, so it seems like they fixed that.
And now you've been deadlocked in, right?
I have. I've been deadlocked in, as they say, which it's been fun. So what about you, KG? What have you been playing?
Man, so I just finished Alan Wake 2, and
the greatest game ever made.
DLCs. From what I've heard, many people are saying this.
That's the official opinion of the channel. This is the greatest game ever.
Official opinion of the channel.
You can't say that. You didn't even know it had a New Game Plus until like before we started this episode.
I knew it had a New Game Plus. I didn't know if there was a secret ending lock behind it. Okay. No, I'm a real fan. I played it so early, and I was so finished with the game completely before that even came out, because I'm a true fan. Wait for New Game Plus. Why
True fan would have watched.
True fans are never finished.
Would have seen. Yeah. True fans are never
you got
finished.
me there.
They always want
your
more.
Your whole channel should just be like, for personal videos, should just be Alan Wake videos. It's the greatest thing ever. That's all you should be making content around. You should be like,
I like
to
see how other games try and aspire to that level of greatness. Like Death Stranding 2 just might. We'll see.
We'll see.
We won't get into Death Stranding just this episode. We'll save that for another episode.
We really do need to have a hot. We do actually.
The best game ever.
One of these days, we're gonna actually have a hot takes episode where each of us goes around and gives like our most controversial opinion, because we've slowly found out over the last several weeks that each of us have some opinions that the others are like, no way, no you don't.
Yeah. Mainly you, Vaughn. It's the brilliant takes.
You say that.
You got a novel compared to our little pamphlets.
I think I just talk more, so you just hear more of mine.
Maybe. But it's racking up a little bit. We got to do this episode quickly, or else it's gonna be 3 hours.
True.
Of your takes.
Who knows? Maybe in a slow week without massive layoffs, we'll be able to talk about it.
Yeah. If we can go 1 week without layoffs,
happy week. We can
maybe
create
next year. That could be next year.
When there's not bad news, we can create our own news.
Yeah. But awesome. Alan Wake's been really fun. I enjoyed all the DLCs that I played. Night Springs was really, really fun. A really interesting tone shift from the main game. I really like the main game too.
On the soundtrack called Night Springs, like constant. It's a
the little outro song. It's something like that. Yeah.
It's so good. It's so fucking good.
It's good. And all the music that they made for this game specifically was
Should have got a Grammy. Should have got a Grammy. I don't know. I don't think they do that. I don't think there's a Grammy for video game soundtrack. There should be, but the Grammys are fake.
There is actually.
There is.
Wait, really? Who won? Probably something stupid.
This year, I think it was Wizardry.
Yeah,
remastered
Wizardry.
Or something.
That's not a real game.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah,
it's a real game.
I played it actually. I actually played it last year. It has some really good music.
Oh, really?
It's very old school, like dungeon crawler, like first person dungeon crawler going through like
Etrian Odyssey level.
Yeah, kind of Etrian Odyssey for the like more modern. This is like Wizardry is what
Etrian Odyssey
and other
riffing on, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, but
yeah, actually okay. This does look sick. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Very good.
As a cut enjoyer, I think this would be fun.
Yeah. But yeah,
I really enjoyed Alan Wake 2 after getting hounded about it for months on end.
Rightfully so.
Right, you know what? I agree. Rightfully so. I definitely should have played this earlier. But I'm glad I did. Like Alan Wake said, it's not a loop; it's a spiral. And just on this loop, I got to play.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
It's
not spoilers. It's not spoilers.
It's not really a spoiler,
It's not a spoiler.
To be on the box art. Yeah. No context means it's not a spoiler.
It's one of those lines you don't even know what it means until you're like until the game's over and you're just sitting there pondering what could it mean.
Yeah. Like Alan Wake 2 does throughout the story. It's not a spoiler if you don't have context. So it is totally fine. And I really I'm still processing it, like the entire story, playing all the DLCs in like 3 or 4 days. It's a lot. It makes me want to play Control. It makes me excited for FBC Firebreak.
I'm so hyped for FBC. That's gonna be. We've got our squad. We're right here. We've got the enjoyers. We're ready for FBC. Let's go, squad.
We've got the cultured gamers right here, and it looks to be a lot of fun.
You gotta play Control though. It makes Alan Wake 2 so much better.
I beat Control. I definitely.
He just wants to play it again.
I played it. I gotta play it again. I was getting like flashes of like, oh, this was the character from Control in Alan Wake 2, and I want to revisit all that context because this game is so massive in terms of lore.
The Remedyverse is the best multiverse in gaming right now.
I think
hands
it's
down.
the best. Yeah,
I agree.
I think it's the
I
best
agree.
multiverse. Just period.
Every time Casper
make that
Darling
argument.
shows up and Angel regains its wings.
I have to mention it just because every time I think of it, I have never been more blown away by a multiverse than when the FBC showed up in Bright Falls. Like that.
Great. It was a perfect tie-in.
I knew the Remedyverse existed already. I knew the connections because of Control.
Yep.
But the way they just were like mask off, like, nah, it's here, same world, we're same place. I'm like,
yeah,
thank you. It's so good.
Thank you for like not just alluding to it.
I know.
Like,
I'm always so tired of like things being alluding to stuff instead of just giving it to you.
Is this here? Like, hey, this is ramifications. Like, no,
Like,
just do the thing.
Bring them in. Just put the weird abstract evil entity into a box.
Yes.
And watch it break out. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Put the Eldritch Horror in the Pokeball. That is what we try to do. What we're gonna do in Control 2 and FBC Firebreak. But outside of that game, just started Entropy Survivors based on Jada's recommendation. It's been a lot of fun. I forgot how much I like twin stick shooters. They're just like
so
there's something about them that just I can get in a flow state so easily playing a twin stick shooter that like time can just fly by. So I've been really enjoying that. That'll be my game until Monster Hunter.
I literally rolled credits on that last weekend.
Oh, nice.
I still have more levels to do because it's like basically there's 5 worlds, and then once you beat 5.1, it rolls credits. So like you don't have to do all. I think there's 6 stages on each world, so you don't have to do all 30 to roll credits. You only have to beat like the first 2 or 3 stages to unlock the next planet that you go to. So
okay.
Yeah,
are you going for the platinum?
I am. Oh, hands down, yes. I'm actually pretty close. I think I only have like 10 trophies left on it. So
put that up.
But yeah, we're gonna have to group up. I haven't been able to play it in multiplayer yet, so let's definitely play.
Yeah, that'll be fun for sure.
So,
and we'll all be hunting monsters together here in 3 more days.
That too.
Depending on maybe less, depending on when this episode is actually live.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Who knows? Games.
Maybe by the time this is supposed to be live, we'll be playing Monster Hunter tomorrow.
Yes.
That's the goal.
We're actually playing Monster Hunter right now because it's out right now.
Yeah.
This is going to be so much funnier when this episode comes out in March.
I'm on top of that now. I promise. I swear. We got this.
In other words, get to work, Vaughn.
Yeah, so we'll be playing some Monster Hunter, and then we've got about a month until we got the big drop with Assassin's Creed, Atomfall, and the Bleach fighting game. So yeah.
And Frag Funk.
You know that meme with the dragon with the 3 heads?
Yeah,
oh my god!
Every time Bond brings up the big 3 in March, because that Bleach fighting game in there.
I've been watching
just
Bleach
have to sneak that in there.
You know what? I've been watching Bleach 1000-Year War, and they freaking cooked with that. This new arc. It's so good. It's so good.
That's why people were so mad or so sad when like the show ended before, like with the manga, because like it's the final arc of the whatever, I can't remember what it's called right now, goes out with such a whimper, but the 1000-Year Blood War, the final arc of Bleach, is like everything it needs to be, man. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, now's your time to get in on it, guys. Like, you don't even forget old context. Just go watch it. It's on Hulu. 1000-Year Blood War. It's the best anime shit. Like, the Sakuga, the visuals, the fights. Oh.
I mean, I still recommend watching old Bleach.
I do too, but like, it's hard to convince these normies.
Skip around all the filler. Just skip around all the filler. I personally like filler. Bleach does go a little far with their filler.
Their filler, it's filler because it's literally an episode featuring 5 side characters that don't have any other plots.
Yeah.
Like,
so,
at least it's not One Piece filler where they mix the filler into every episode so you can't skip it.
Yeah. So you can easily skip the filler episodes. It's very obvious. And I'm sure people have made.
See, like, KG, it's not just me. I'm not the only one saying Bleach is peak. Jada has now vouched. Like, come on, man. Like,
well, that is the Jada seal of approval. I'll put it on the list. Yeah,
hey, all I'm saying is Jada and I are going to be the 2 sparring in the Bleach fighting game because I'm going to need someone to fight with. We'll be the ones to test the netcode. We'll actually be able to report on whether or not it works.
So
true.
Cool.
So,
well, I think that's a wrap for us, right?
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we'll call it here, and we'll see you all next time. Bye bye.
Garden. Bye.